That you heard that I was writing songs about you. it's alright, 'cause it was all in my mind. 'Cause it was all in my mind. Cause it was all in my mind. Cause it was all in my mind. Kiss stay till you tell me to go. I only wanna hear what I already know. But I just wanna hear it said. Leave me alone, God, did you get up? I'm just gonna stay till you tell me to leave. I'll climb onto your bed and I'll get under the sheets. Just until you look me straight in the eye. Point to the door, say good luck and goodbye. And I'm just gonna stay till you give me a reason. I'm not gonna let you let me down easy. Not until I hear it straight in the eye. He's coming over, I don't want you to know. So I'm just gonna sit here and stare at your face. I won't read it in your face, I won't take any hints. You only use me to someone real can love. Tell me the truth or tell me I'm wrong.
What gonna work? What gonna work? Break. What gonna work? What gonna work? I tried to tell you. You said you already knew. What gonna work? What gonna work? Your time is up. Your time is up. What gonna work? What gonna work? I was as honest as I knew how to be. What gonna work? What gonna work? Break. What gonna work? What gonna work? I couldn't betray you. What gonna work? What gonna work? Your time is up. Your time is up. What gonna work? What gonna work? You tricked me into loving you. I'm telling you that very frankly and honestly. If I did fall in love with you, it would still have to end in the same way.
You suck. The one I'm talking about, sex, but we're not allowed. Well, you may not love me, but you better learn how, 'cause it's your turn now.
Now what's on your nasty old mind?
How should I begin this? I guess it started when you were with him. And how he never even took you out to dance. But did he fuck with any rhythm? And now he's playing with your head. But did he ever make you come? Did he ever make you cry? Do the wires in your mind get sewn together, rubbed and severed by the heat? You don't know how long I can stare into your picture and wish that it was me. I guess it's different 'cause you love him, but I've got an interactive, sick and twisted
your mind.
Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Sit alone. I hope we're still friends. Yeah, I hope you don't mind.
Gather around, everybody. Have you heard the latest craze? Put your hands in your pockets and look the other way. Remember those times when you were laughing and naked on the couch, pretend it never happened, politely smile as you turn around. Do the act like you never met me. Do the act like you never met me. Do the act like you never met me. And slowly walk away. The hidden kisses, the clumsy conspiratory glance. But I don't really mind it, no, I always like the way it dance. It's so easy to do, so much simpler than the one we did before. Just point out your toe at someone you know, pretend that they're not. Do the act like you never met me. Do the act like you never met me. again. That's how you do the act like you never met me. So do the act like you never met me. Do the act like you never met me. Slowly walk away.
Dating courtesy. A girl is right to assume her date will perform little acts of courtesy which are his privilege. If you are small, will allow him to open yours and his chairs. Don't pause your You'll get attention all right, but it won't be favorable. It is correct to pause and let him know you expect him to act like a gentleman. He'll love it, think you're a lady. In return, flatter his master.
Sometimes he holds her hand too tight. Ooh, but that's alright. 'Cause he'll never leave. No, he'll never leave. Will he ever hold her hair like she likes? Shut him down and she'll go to sleep. And that's just the way that it's got to be. She can't get a weather or overheat. And who really cares about a little rust? If Maddie Klein's got herself a little boy she can trust. Sometimes she misses the flesh and bone. They only want to screw her and leave her alone. But he'll never leave. No, he'll never leave. Will he ever smile her ass like she likes?
not say
I confess that thinking sex was my salvation. kissing you before you left me for New York. Weren't you a princess holding heirs, or just the daughter of a rich man in this land that comes with sunshine that you never have to learn? New York City's cold, and when you love someone, you should hold on to them so tightly until you crush them when they wriggle from your grasp. Don't just stand there and say nothing, but at least I learned my lesson. And I confess to thinking sex was my salvation. Really, they just start with the letter L. You'll forgive me for thinking heaven was for better. It's as close as I would ever get. It's as close as I would ever get. Close